All right, let's touch upon the game real quickly, on the game that nobody really cares about or remembers who actually wins. That's the third place game. Heath, I'm coming to you first because you've got a big smile on your face. It's Croatia against Morocco. What are we expecting from this game? Who wins?
I mean, honestly, this is a massive deal for Morocco, I think. Just seeing the way that they've come to life, seeing what it's meant for African football, what it's meant for the Arab football, all of these storylines, seeing the support in the stadium. I mean, it truly brought me back to thinking how big home field advantage is in these World Cups, of just seeing that. I mean, when this stadium is going to be absolutely jam-packed, 99% Moroccan fans, and it's going to be rocking. I think it plays well into their advantage, as well as their history, their storyline, and cement themselves in that history, right? If yes, nobody really cares in the way that they would around the final, but for a team like Morocco, who by and large looked like they belong in a semifinal of a World Cup for a lot of this World Cup. They weren't like this, team of destiny or this like Cinderella run type thing. The more that you saw them, the more that I watched them, the more that I realized just how actually good they are. This is a chance for them to prove that in a game that maybe others aren't paying attention to or caring as much, but will certainly create a national holiday in the country of Morocco if they win this one.
I will definitely be on that first flight to Casablanca to celebrate should they win this. I was thinking about it regardless. So thank you for saying that, Heath. You read my mind. I think this is massive for Morocco, and I love that you said African football, because look at what they've done to get here. It's not just the players on the field, it's the investment in the youth. 4 years ago, these were players that were young players and they were invested in. I think it gives the blueprint for 4 years from now for African soccer with the expanded field for the FIFA World Cup. And I think I always go back to my home country of Sierra Leone. If you're an African country and you're watching this World Cup, believe in the youth, invest in the youth. Morocco is leading the way, and I am pulling for them to get third place because that is deserving of their run at this FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Mike raises a really relevant point, and I don't want to take away from Regragui and what he's achieved with these players, but there has to be some credit as well to Hervé Renard and then Vahid Halilodzic, who, although they didn't lead Morocco at this World Cup, they played a large part in convincing some of those players, some of those dual nationals to commit to playing for Morocco, and enabled Regragui to have this squad, this very talented group of players in front of him to choose from. And after that, it's all been about him. And you could tell in some of his quotes from the press conference building up to the semi-final against France, not necessarily how in awe he is of Didier Deschamps, but how he's very much a student of Didier Deschamps, the way that he forms his squad at international level, how pragmatic he is about them. I mean, he said himself, he started out as a coach paying attention to what Pep Guardiola was doing, but then has been more won over, by Deschamps, certainly, obviously, with the fact that he is part French as well, has helped, and that's enabled him to sort of gain this additional insight into what it takes to make a team successful on the international level. And I think, finishing third place at this World Cup would really, just be the feather in the cap. We just have to hope that, this is the beginning and not just a one-off, both for African football and for the Arab. Like that performing, at a similar level in future World Cups, but this is their best chance to claim something meaningful. And I'm not saying that, finishing fourth or being considered the fourth team at a World Cup is not meaningful, because it is. They've already written themselves into history. It's just such a good opportunity. I wouldn't call it a second bite at the cherry, because obviously it doesn't compare to a final, but when you're looking at what Croatia have left to play for, sure, it may well be the final time that we see Luka Modric out on a football pitch at a World Cup match, but I feel that Morocco have so much more to play for. The only worry about them is how fit some of these players are. We saw Aguerd pull out, in the warm-up before the game against France. We saw Saiss only last 20 minutes. Some of those players were absolutely, knackered, during the game. And, they really gave everything. And I hope that they still have something left in the tank for this game, because, Croatia, I think, if it really comes down to fitness levels, stuff like that, could maybe shade this one.
Well said, JJ, and also the pronunciation superb, I must say. Real quickly here, Heath Pearce, I'm going to come to you on this one. Croatia-Morocco game does have an American official. Armando Villarreal will be the support video review, but also to all the In Circle We Trust viewers and subscribers who are tuning in here, let's talk about this real quickly as we go to our final thoughts. In the World Cup final, you also have Kyle Atkins as the offside video review. You have Fernando Guerrero, the Mexican, as support video review. And then you've got Ismail Elfath, who is the fourth official. This is a big deal. We're seeing Americans getting involved in a World Cup final. Congratulations to Izzy and all the officials who are involved. It's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. I mean, I wish it was players playing in a World Cup final, but if this is where we got to start, this is where we got to start. But look, I was doing MLS 2 games 3-4 years ago, whenever it was, 4 years ago, when they were starting to do the VAR review and they were testing it and they were doing all these things. And the reason I say that is it was a long time ago that the U.S. was starting to implement and learn and train these types of things. And so they've always carried themselves to a high standard at the officiating level. Now seeing the league increase in its competitiveness and its complexities and the quality of our referees to be rewarded with positions in these final matches, I think is a great step forward, because better officiating is only going to increase the quality of our game in North America across the board. And hopefully, again, from an inspiration standpoint, I know a lot of people don't wake up when they're young and say, I want to be a referee or an astronaut or a firefighter.
Well, you'd hope so, based on some of the refereeing we've seen.
Yeah,
and sometimes with some of your comments, I think you're a bit of an astronaut. So
Yeah, exactly. I don't think people necessarily wake up wanting to do that, but I think coaching is a major issue in the U.S. in terms of the quality we've got to implement at the lower level, as well as officiating. That's a major thing that needs better improvement, and that will help to improve the overall football or soccer experience at the youth level. That will drive more fans. And so there's a snowball effect to all of this stuff that I think is really, really important. So I'm really happy to see that.
Michael, there's no doubt that you've come across Ismail. He's from Texas, right? And also, I'm sure you've got a yellow card or a red card from him at some point in your career.
All three. You can check that off the list. No, this is a big moment for not just the U.S., MLS. I think city like Austin, Elfath from the Austin area. But Heath, you said it really well. I think of VAR. When you look at VAR, the controversies around world football with VAR, MLS actually does a pretty good job with regard to VAR standards compared to other footballing leagues around the world. So congratulations to this refereeing crew. And could we be setting the table for 4 years from now when we have an all-American crew or an American referee refereeing another final?